Good afternoon, Niagara Wheatfield families. I'm Dan Milanic, Superintendent.
I'm Tom Stack, Assistant Superintendent.
And we're here today to discuss some of the updated guidance from New York State, particularly the New York State Department of Health related to reopening. As a district, it's important to know that it's our priority to return all students to 5-day instruction as soon as possible. What the New York State Department of Health documents say is that districts should cohort students to the extent practicable, as we have in all of our elementary schools. That classroom distance may move from 6 feet to 3 feet. And that in a county with a high transmission rate, middle school and high schools must continue to maintain 6 feet of distancing. They also must maintain 6 feet between adults and students while eating meals and snacks and while consuming fluids. Masks are required at all times, except for meals. Screening, daily surveys, and cleaning protocol must continue as we have been doing all school year. And music and PE activities are altered from 12 feet to 6 feet of social distancing.
The question is, how does this impact the Niagara Wheatfield Central School District? Really, our K-5 program will not be impacted, as we have been 5 days a week in person, with the exception being the first 2 weeks of school. The ability to return to our 6 to 12 program to 5 days is determined by the rate of transmission. And we provided you 2 links, one to the CDC guidance as well as the COVID tracking mechanism at the state level. The CDC recommends that the public health officials and school administrators consider the total new cases per 100,000 persons in the community with the preceding 7 days and the percentage of the molecular tests that are positive within the preceding 7 days when making decisions about physical distancing in our schools. Levels community transmission defined as total new cases per 100,000 persons in the past 7 days. Low is 0 to 9. Moderate is 10 to 49. Substantial is 50 to 99. And high is over 100. And the percentage of positive tests in the past 7 days: low, under 5%, moderate, 5 to 7.9%, and substantial being 8 to 9.9%, with high being over 10%. Just to reiterate, once notified of a positive case, as has been the case the whole year, we immediately report it to the state COVID report card and assess what students and staff may have been in contact with an infected individual for a consecutive 10 minutes within 6 feet. It's also just very important to note, too, that we do not contact trace ourselves. We work in conjunction with the health department for that.
So looking at table 1 in the CDC guidelines, you can see the indicators that must be utilized to determine our transmission rate and color. The expectation is that the more restrictive indicator must be utilized. The first is the number of cases per 100,000, and the second is the percent positivity. For the past week, Niagara County has been significantly above the 100 cases per 100,000 threshold. Actually, we've been between 3.5 to 5 times that rate. So what does that mean? As you can see here on table 2, when a county is considered to be in a high transmission, middle and high schools must maintain the 6 feet social distancing. Consequently, this means we cannot return to full in-person until we move into at least the substantial transmission category. In speaking with our director of health and reviewing the recent trends, it does not look likely that we will move out of the high transmission category this school year. However, we will continue to closely monitor the rates, and we will continue to confer with the health department. So what are the next steps? Our timeline for the update to the reopening plan is as follows. On Monday, April 19th, we are meeting with our Continuity of Learning Committee. The committee will provide input on an updated reopening plan. We will discuss that updated reopening plan at our Board of Education meeting on April 21st. The updated reopening plan will then be shared with the school community.
There's been additional guidance this past Monday on activities. At events where the numbers of attendees will exceed the state's gathering limits, for example, 100 people indoors or 200 people outdoors in a non-residential setting. This is, again, as of Monday, must have a negative COVID test within 72 hours of the event or proof of 90-day immunity from a previous bout with COVID-19. Districts are advised to maintain distancing, closely monitor food distribution and consumption, and limit event length, and also very closely note foot traffic flow patterns at events and have them visibly marked. Health screening also must be completed prior to entry for certain group sizes. Please see the chart on the next two slides in regards to those gatherings.
The guidance on school activities does provide us with some additional opportunities for senior class events. We met with senior class officers this morning to discuss their ideas and how those ideas fit within the newly released guidelines. The only thing we have determined for sure is that graduation will be held on Saturday, June 26th. Senior class leaders will now meet to recommend plans that fit within the allowable guidance.
On the second slide, noting indoor events, really due to the size of our classes, the changes to the indoor events guidance does not really open up additional opportunity for our district, namely because of the size. But please take a look at the attached table for that. We're obviously asking for your assistance as a school community, and you can continue to help us by wearing masks, remain socially distant whenever possible, obviously be cognizant of your surroundings when not in a controlled environment like our schools. Please avoid congregate settings and help keep our schools open. When possible, please continue to transport your children to school. That does help our school district out. We want to thank you very much for your time. We wish you the best of weekends ahead.